Aric Manning, and I'm here with longtime Ogden Marathon Ambassador Lora Erickson. Lora, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Well, we want to introduce you a little bit more to Lora if you're not sure, who she is. She is a resident in
Well, I'm in Bountiful.
Bountiful, Utah. And so tell us, how long have you been an Ogden Marathon Ambassador?
Since it started. So as long as they've had them, I
Are
was
you kidding?
the first, one of the first
Wow.
ambassadors.
So you're pretty familiar with the race and the organization, then
Oh,
you'd say.
absolutely.
Okay, well, let's jump right into that. What is your favorite part of the Ogden Marathon?
I think what I love about Ogden Marathon is it's not just like, one event. It's like the Goal Foundation, the whole ambiance of everything is like creating this, get out and live, like for everyone. Just like, it's an active community, Ogden is itself. But I think it's not just a one-time event. It's like all year long, there's lots of events that they're involved with. So I think that, and all ages. So it's just a really great whole community feel. So I like it.
So how did you become like one of the very first Ogden Marathon ambassadors? How'd that start?
I don't remember. I think they came to me and said, hey, but I think it's a great race. I love to get behind great races. And actually, I heard about this race. I've been a long time coach. Most people know me as Blonde Runner. But I heard from it from my athletes. I had people coming, hey, I'm doing the Ogden Marathon. Will you coach me for it? And I'm like, and I kept hearing such great things about the race. So, checking it out, and it has been around for a long time. And I mean, obviously, this is the 20th year. We'll be celebrating this year. So it's been around. Races that have been around like that have to be good races to make it that long. And what I like about Ogden too is it's not just a small race. I think it caters to every level, but it's nice because really elite people can run it as well and feel like they're getting really the competition, which I love. And then they also have the kids race. So, they have it's really for all levels. And the spectators, and we've always had kind of crazy weather, and this will be interesting with the virtual, but I think that this is kind of really elevating what a virtual race could be with what they've put together this year. So I'm kind of excited about it.
I think that's kind of the thing is there's a lot of, this past year we've seen a lot of virtual races on different levels, but it seems like this year the Goal Foundation has put so much effort into making this not a virtual experience, right? It's going to be a virtual race, but there's so many components to this that I think it's going to bring out a little bit more than just a regular here's some money and I'm going to go run a race. So it's part of what the Goal Foundation does.
For sure.
So how long have you been a coach?
Oh my gosh,
Than that.
I was first paid for coaching in 1997. So I've been coaching a long time. I love it. I love to see people excel. I think it really helps to have a good training plan. A lot of people get hurt, so that's kind of why they come to me or whatever is going on. But I think, a lot of people have these goals, doing marathons and things, but you do have to do it safely. I mean, you can't just do it overnight. You have to really build up properly and make sure that you're doing your mileage smart because you can get injured. So, it's definitely good.
And I think one of the misperceptions of a coach, right, is some people think, I'm not good enough to have a coach, right? It's like, I'm not going for, a sub 3 hour marathon. I don't need a coach. But I mean, realistically, even if it's going to be your first marathon, it might be better to have a coach.
Oh,
right?
I think the people that need the coaches the most are the people that don't think they do need it. It isn't about being fast. It's about not getting hurt and doing it right. I mean, I've worked with people that they just want to get a little faster, and as they get through training and they see that they're really capable, I mean, we went to Boston Marathon with them because they didn't even know they were that good. Once they have good training, then they're like, wow, it's more exciting when you're making progress. So I think helping them see the progress, doing it in a way that's healthy, and they're really seeing what they really can do, and then they're not getting hurt. You don't know what you don't know. I like to say that. So people that don't think they need a coach probably really do. And if they keep getting injured, they need someone to help them.
Well, I think that's it. You see a lot of people that probably try and go from 0 to 60 too fast. They get injured. They have a bad experience, and they don't want to do it anymore. Yeah. They're like, that's not for me. My body's not built that way. I get hurt all the time. But there is a component of that. There's a lot of pieces. Nutrition, some structured training is good. Some accountability sometimes is helpful when you go, I got to talk to my coach and tell him I didn't run today.
But or when they're not supposed to,
yeah.
when they're hurting and they still run. Running is kind of interesting. People get hurt and they just keep doing it. I don't know if they just love that pain part of it, but it is nice to kind of have that third.
So along with the running part of it, you also help with nutrition. Do you help with injury prevention? A little bit of foam rolling.
Rolling, absolutely. Injury prevention is big. I think I do a lot with strength as well, and I think running form. Running form is probably the thing I get called most on to do with people, is help them with their running form. I mean, the thing is, I think a lot of people think, well, if you know that you're naturally a good runner and that's just all there is to it, but you can learn to get better. You can, I think anyone, honestly, if they put the effort into it, they can be a pretty good distance runner, especially. So, it just takes work. You see those elite runners, and they put a lot of work into it. That's why they're really good. They put a lot of the effort and energy into it. But, I also am a kind of a low mileage runner, so there's a lot of people. I mean, my first marathon that I ran years ago, I was running 25 miles a week and I qualified for Boston. So, you can run smart too. And I think that's one thing, a lot of people, they just run miles, and they don't really know what they're doing. And so I believe you have to be purposeful with all of your workouts. It needs to have, maybe it's a slow, easy run for recovery. You need to know what your purpose is for every run. Some runs are, ditch the watch and have fun and enjoy. I really think it's important to vary the terrain too. This is particularly if we're going to come back from this COVID and we're going to be able to run the race on course again, because that's what's so wonderful about it. Downhill, knowing how to run downhills and not getting hurt, but varying the terrain, running trail, just learning the different modalities of getting to, a good race and having a good race and a good experience in running. It's like it's a journey. Yeah. It's not just the race, it's a journey. It's every day.
Well, that's kind of how I like to approach stuff like that. Is you do the work before the race. The race is kind of your celebration or your paycheck, right?
It's like how
much did I put into it? This is the time for me. I did all the work. I showed up. I trained in the rain and the wind and the snow, and now it's time to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, and one of the interesting things you just said too, that I think sometimes the first time maybe Ogden Marathon runner gets, it's like, okay, this is a fast course, right? It's good to qualify. There's some downhill, but downhill, I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people said, man, I hit mile 18 or 20 and my legs were shot because of the downhill. They don't train on that, right? It's like they go out and do some flat runs or some training. So
almost
when you talk
harder.
About
It's fast, but it's recovery time. You've got to realize you're going to have to recover from that and do it. It's the race is one thing, but then there's a whole recovery side of it and understanding what to do.
And rest days are good in training.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a big believer. I have always taken one full rest day every week, and I really advocate that for all my athletes, because I find that it's not only physical, but it's mental. And you're able to, it's good to actually teach yourself to hold back. Yeah. I think that's the hard thing about injuries for runners is I can't run. I want to. It makes you want to run worse when you can't run. Yeah. So sometimes it is nice to have that one day a week break so you can give yourself. And I think that's why, I've been competing. I actually was from Colorado, and I was recruited to run for the U. Okay. So I ran on scholarship for them, and then I finished my degree at Utah State University, ran for them. But having those kind of, I don't remember where I was going, darn it. You're going to have to clip that out.
We'll do it.
Sorry.
We're talking about rest days.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
Oh, gosh, I don't even remember. I don't know where my mind went. Sorry about that.
That's right. It'll keep going. We'll splice it.
We'll splice that puppy in there.
Good.
Yeah, I don't remember. I had a really good point, too.
You've been running for a long time.
Yeah, I've been running for a long time, and having that break and that rest day from that. I don't know. I was talking about going to... What was I thinking?
We'll spin it, because that's where we were going next anyways.
Yeah.
So what got you into running? Because you don't just accidentally become a long-time runner.
Well, I had kind of a stressful environment growing up, and it was kind of my outlet. I actually, in elementary school, for some reason, I could just be way ahead of everyone. So I ran I could run. And I just love the feeling of the release that you get from running. It was something I knew I could do, and I could do it well. And so running, I could say, saved me. It is my mental, when I need time to myself, I can go running. I wasn't much of a stroller runner. I have 4 kids, and I was no, this is my time for me. I'm going running. I'm not gonna try to do that. I wanted to have that time for me, and I think that's so needed now, and we are bombarded with things. And I think having kind of that solo my time is so nice. For me, I like to put my music on and just go and enjoy that time for me and feel like I've done something for me. I think it's needed. So, yeah.
Well, you make a good point. I like to tease people that when I run, I solve all the world's problems because I'm such in a
I have
great
all kinds of
clear
ideas.
space.
Yeah.
I get home and I'm like, I don't even remember what I'm supposed to get at the grocery store.
Yeah.
So
You need that time. I think that time just to get away and just like leave all the worries behind and just kind of just get in the rhythm and get in, and it's just, it's so therapeutic for me. I really love it. So.
But you've also, I mean, we talk about like the Ogden Marathon and coaching first-time runners and things like that, but you've been competitive, like at, competitive level. Mm-hmm. So what's the mindset difference there? Because when you get to that certain level, I mean, it's fun still, but it does become a little bit more.
I love it. I actually love that. There's nothing like a race and like you're in a zone and it's very different. And I love that. I'm not much of a recreational runner in the sense. I have it for fun and I do it for my profession as well as like fun as well. But I think for me, it's exciting putting it all together. Like you said, all that, it's the cherry on top. The racing is the easy part, really. It's all the work that you put in. It's what are you doing when no one's watching? And that's the thing that I pride myself in. People don't know my good workouts and all that. I can put that focus and that concentration and really hit it hard. I mean, I get nervous to work out with myself because I'm my own coach. So I'm like, okay. And I can be really hard on me, but it also gets me to the finish line faster. And I have goals for me. I mean, I've been running for years, 30 years, whatever. And I'm not done being good. I'm not done doing my best. And it doesn't have to compare to anyone else. It's just me, my own goals for myself. And I think that's really important for people to have. I work with a lot of people, like I said, and I ask them, this is their first marathon. I go, what is your time? What are you going to aim for? I don't know, whatever. I'm just to finish. I go, well, how are you going to pace yourself? How are you going to know what your nutrition plan is? A good race is a well-executed plan. Yeah. So I think even if you're recreational, it's nice to have a plan because you feel more comfortable and confident and you just have a better experience. You're not throwing up. You have it figured out. It's not, what did they take at the aid station? Let me see, and I'm going to take that too. That's where it helps, it really helps to at least have some kind of, it's helpful to talk to people that have run. Everybody has different experiences. But where a coach comes in is to have someone really understand you and where you're coming from. So I do custom coaching, and that is purely what that person, their experience, what their goals are, and then make it work for them, what they need.
Well, I think you said so many important things there, and I think one of them, like you said, you do it personally because there's, it's a running thing. So how many nutrition products are on the market? And you see somebody run and go, they took that, I'm taking that. But your body doesn't like that thing, right? Exactly.
I deal with people with lots of different issues. Maybe they can't eat certain foods or that. You have to adapt for all of that. So, and I do a lot of triathlon now, which has been a really wonderful thing. And even with my runners only, I have them do cross training in their training. I think it's really important to work in different planes of motion. A lot of runners tend to get the same kind of injuries because of repetitive movement. So it's really important, I think, to vary it. And for me, it was a welcome change to me to do triathlon for, I've done, many Ironmans and things like that now, but it's so nice to kind of try different things. And I think that's really important to stay healthy as a runner by doing different things like swimming and cycling and, just doing other different sports in there too. I think is really a way to stay healthy because that's the key is staying healthy.
No, it definitely is. I think you see that most with runners is that healthy thing. It's like an Achilles thing. It's an IT band thing. It's a hip thing. It's always something because you are putting your body through the paces. And when you are repetitive, your body has no idea what else to do with itself. So it's that instant or constant use injury per se.
I think people get mentally, like runners, I don't know for me particularly, I get dependent on that feeling that I can get from running. But in my experience, I had a little girl that I lost my first baby, and I had to be on bed rest for 10 weeks after that with my first boy. And that is when I really missed running. But I learned that you can get through it without running, but I find it's such an outlet. But you can find different things to be an outlet for you, and I think it's really important for runners to I mean, if you run long enough, you're going to get an injury probably. And so learning how to cope with life in more ways than just running. It's so great to run, but it's also nice to have other outlets. And I think it's important to keep that balance.
Yeah, no, that's important. And how do you keep the balance?
I think it helps to have kids and it helps to have my rest day. And I think for me, really, it is a lifesaver to do triathlon now, because as I'm getting older and my body doesn't always want to run as much as I want to. I want to run more, but I can't always run as much. I love to cycle. So to me, it's like I can get out and I can ride. I can go ride for 5 hours and it's not, gonna have that impact that like a marathon would have. I can still walk the next day. But I can see so much stuff, and it just lets me have the wind in my hair. It gives me that same feeling in a lot of ways. So, and swimming and just other things, weight training, it's just nice to have variety. So
I think if you ride a bike for 5 hours, walking isn't the hard part for me. It would be sitting for the
sitting.
next
Yes, I
couple
guess
days.
you're right. You get used to it.
So you talk about you're still competitive, you still compete. Is there a goal you have on the horizon, something that is like your next competitive thing that you've got your mind set on?
Oh my gosh. Well, I would just really like races happening anymore,
Yeah.
like the Ironman and things that they're canceling and stuff. And so, I mean, my goal is always to compete against me. So yeah, I have some goal times that I want to hit that I haven't hit quite yet in racing. I think part of it is just I kind of like to go along with the ride. Like however my body is feeling, I mean, I have to go kind of where I can go. And I mean, I would love to beat all my times in all the distances. And believe it or not, I've ran my fastest 5K even after college, coaching myself after 4 kids. So I like to tell people, don't limit yourself, because yeah, you're getting older, you have to learn how to deal with that, but don't limit your progress. You can still be good when you're older. Yes. I mean, you can totally, and I have had people come to me, they didn't even start running until they were in their 30s or 40s, and I'm like, that's what I love about running and this sport is you can start way later in life, and it's not like gymnastics. You can only do it when you're little, or I guess you can keep doing it, but it's a younger sport. Whereas running, you can do it. There are people, like I had the privilege of meeting Sister Madonna. She was, I don't know if you know who she is, but in the triathlon world, she's been around and she's done it for a very long time. And she's in her, like, I think she's in her 70s. Like they're starting to, these older people are, breaking records and getting, I saw a video clip on like Facebook of this they're like 100-year-olds running, and I was like, it's just amazing. Yeah. You don't have to stop. You're older, it doesn't matter. You can keep doing it, and you can keep doing it not just recreationally. You can keep doing it and be fast. It's just a great feeling beating someone that's 30 years younger. You can still do it. It's I don't know.
And at the end of the day, you're healthy,
yeah,
right?
You're healthy.
It's just a great healthy thing, and you've talked about it. You can be healthy physically, and it makes you healthy mentally.
Oh,
and
sure.
After the last year, I think we could all use some more of that healthy mental stuff going on.
Sure.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today with the Ogden Marathon. It is virtual this year, which is okay because it'll be back. It'll be better than ever. But parting things, why should people run the Ogden Marathon, whether it's the half, the full, the relay? What's the catch? What's the thing that keeps you coming back?
Definitely. I mean, I've run in lots of different states. This is a beautiful race, a beautiful course. Even if we can't do it virtually, what makes this race better, I think, is just the effort they put into everything. I mean, the expo, and they'll have it virtual and everything, but it's just a different level. It's up there with the greats, the Bostons, the things like that. They put all the effort into the little things that make this race great. So it's, the people come from all over to run this race too. So it's not just, and Utah, I mean, we've got the mountains. It's fantastic. So
pretty lucky.
Yeah, we're lucky. We really are.
Well, Lora, the blonde runner, thanks for taking the time today, and
Appreciate
good luck
it.
with
Thank
whatever you're doing next, and stay healthy.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate it.